she's from Bordentown, New Jersey. And when she sang this song up there, it brought down the house. So when you hear her today, I'm sure you're going to be very, very impressed with Dionne Farris, who's singing I'm Saving All My Love for You. She is 18 years old. Dionne Farris, exceptionally, incredibly talented young lady.
Her journey was one full of many trying experiences, but she eventually made it to the top of the music charts. Unfortunately, she wasn't able to keep the momentum going and decided to walk away from it all when the challenges became just too much to handle. American singer-songwriter, producer, and actress Dionne Farris was born in Plainfield, New Jersey, and raised in Bordentown. She ended up with a famous name after her parents decided to give their child the moniker of their favorite singer, Dionne Warwick. Dionne was a huge fan of Diana Ross as a child. She even had a very memorable moment with the superstar after attending one of her concerts held in Manhattan. At the age of 8, Dionne's uncle lifted her on stage, and Miss Ross gave her a kiss. Dionne began taking dance lessons at the age of 3. She danced ballet, jazz, and tap for 10 years. Then, by her early teens, her focus had shifted to singing. After graduating from high school in 1987, she entered into a regional pageant competition. She won her first and only pageant as Miss Hemisphere's Adult Talent, singing Whitney Houston's Saving All My Love for You. She then continued her education at a community college where she studied photography. Also around this time, Dionne joined a band, and they began performing on the Manhattan club circuit while looking to sign a record deal. After some time had passed and major frustration set in, Dionne decided it was time for a move. She packed up and relocated to Atlanta, where her father lived. After a short time, she met with music producer Jermaine Dupri and began writing songs for Atlanta-based acts such as TLC, and singing background vocals for the likes of Escape and El DeBarge. She signed a management contract with Jermaine's father's company as a solo artist, but later became a member of a girl group they were producing. Another act that was also signed to the company was the group Dionne's boyfriend played drums for, hip-hop group Arrested Development. The group was looking for a female singer while in the midst of putting their debut album together. Dionne, although she wasn't interested in being in the group, agreed to sing with them and became an unofficial member. She sang on 3 of the group's songs, Fishin' for Religion, Give a Man a Fish, and their top 10 smash hit debut single that included a powerful improvised solo by Dionne called Tennessee.
Won't you help me understand
After the success of Tennessee, Dionne began to receive a lot of media attention, and she was, again, offered a solo deal. The deal, though, did come with the stipulation that Arrested Development founder Speech would produce the project. Not surprisingly, considering what was going on behind the scenes between her and Speech, Dionne rejected the offer. The drama between the two began at the very start of Arrested Development's success. Since Speech and his right-hand man, Headliner, were the only people actually signed to a deal, everyone else played the role of a contract employee earning a fixed salary. That would become a problem for Dionne. The group wanted her to continue to do performances with them, so she felt if that was going to be the case, that her original agreement needed to be renegotiated. Everything came to a head just a mere 6 months after the release of Tennessee. At the Fox Theater in Atlanta, the biggest venue they'd ever performed at, and minutes before the group was about to hit the stage, the issues brewing between Speech and Dionne exploded. Speech claims that Dionne went full reality TV on him, even throwing a chair. She quit the group right then and there. The following year, Arrested Development walked away 2-time winners at the 1993 Grammy Awards. Sadly, Dionne wasn't there to accept the accolades, and instead watched it all unfold on TV. Dionne moved on, put together a demo tape, and began shopping it around. It eventually ended up at Sony Music in the hands of their A&R executive, Randy Jackson, who would later become well known as a judge on the singing competition reality show American Idol. Randy signed Dionne to a deal at Columbia Records. Her 1994 debut album, Wild Seed, Wild Flower, featured the single I Know, which reached number 4 on the Billboard Hot 100 and was nominated for a Grammy Award for Best Female Pop Vocal Performance.
I know what you're doing, yeah.
At this time, Dionne's work would begin being featured on several movie soundtracks. In 1995, her version of Billy Taylor's I Wish I Knew How It Would Feel to Be Free appeared on the documentary The Promised Land. She also contributed a version of the Stevie Wonder classic For Once in My Life, To the Truth About Cats and Dogs, a rendition of Heartbreak Road for First Wives Club, and the soulful hit Hopeless for Love Jones. Even Tupac became enamored with Dionne's music. He referenced her in the 1995 documentary Tupac, Uncensored and Uncut, The Lost Prison Tapes. During his 23 hours a day in solitary confinement, he did a lot of reading and listening to music. Dionne Farris was one of the artists that he says got him through that tough time. Dionne did record a second album with Columbia. However, creative differences caused her to part ways with the label before the project was released. She expressed her frustration working with the company in a 2009 interview with PopMatters.com. You start feeling like, why me? Am I difficult? No, record companies are difficult, especially if the music is not able to fit into the guidelines that they're playing in. You're in a bad place unless you're going to get on the R&B train. Rather than actively seek out a new label, Dionne instead left the music industry altogether. By this time, she'd become a mother and preferred to focus on raising her daughter, whom she also homeschooled. As fate would have it, Dionne and Speech would cross paths again many years after their falling out at the very same venue where it all went down. At a concert taking place there one night, Speech noticed that Dionne was seated directly in front of him. He took the opportunity to write her a note that included a heartfelt apology and a wish to make amends. Dionne accepted the note and wrote one of her own back, saying very much of the same. In 2007, Dionne finally released her long-delayed follow-up album titled For Truth If Not Love. 2011 was a particularly productive year for Dionne. She released her third album, Signs of Life, as well as a mixtape. A live jazz album titled Dionne Get Your Gun, featuring the Russell Gun Quartet with Dionne Farris, dropped 2 years later. Dionne's last project, a collaboration album with guitarist Charlie Hunter, titled Dionne, was released in 2014. An homage to her namesake, legendary R&B singer Dionne Warwick, the album featured stripped-down versions of such classic numbers as Always Something There to Remind Me and Walk On By. Today, Dionne continues to write and perform, and much of her time is taken up with supporting her daughter, who's followed in her footsteps. Thanks for watching. Please like, share, and comment. Also, don't forget to subscribe and turn on your notifications so you won't miss any future videos. See you next time!